Hi, today we're going to be working on the homework for January 31st to February 4th. First things first, we're going to put our name. Go ahead and put your name. And now we're going to be working on problem number 1. Problem number 1 says, Marisa drew and labeled 4 triangles on a grid paper as shown below. So here is your grid paper and here are your 4 different triangles. They're saying, or they're asking you, which triangle appears to be an obtuse triangle. So you're looking for an obtuse triangle. So if you remember, obtuse means greater than 90 degrees. So we're looking for an obtuse angle. If you go over here, you're going to notice that this angle is acute. So you're going to go ahead and label this angle as acute. This angle over here is also an acute angle. And this angle is also going to be acute. So this is an acute triangle. Angle R is an acute triangle. Let's look at the next one. Triangle S. For triangle S, here you have a right triangle. Here you have a acute angle. And here you have an acute angle. So this is going to be a right triangle. Because one of your angles is a right triangle. Right triangle. If we look at the next one over here, this is triangle T. If you look at this angle over here, this should be acute. If you remember, acute means that, if you remember this guy right here is leaning forward, so he is acute. If you look at this angle, this should be an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. Over here, you have an acute angle. So the triangle that you have here is an obtuse triangle. Which is what you're looking for, but we still need to identify the last triangle. Triangle U. Think about this angle. Think about what kind of angle you have right here. You're going to notice that this is also an acute angle. Over here, you also have an acute angle. And right here, you have a right angle. So this should be a right triangle as well, just like triangle S. So here you have your different triangles, and you were looking for an obtuse triangle. So that means that my answer is C. An obtuse triangle would be triangle T. And that was question number 1. If you have any questions about question number 1 because you did not understand it, make sure that you ask me sometime this week. Let's go to question number 2. It says, look at the diagram below. And here is my diagram. It says if line segment BD, when you're looking at a line segment and they're telling you BD, they mean this one, BD. So if line segment BD is removed from the diagram, so we take it away, but what they mean by remove is by imagining that it's not there anymore, like this, what kind of figure will remain? Okay? What kind of shape are we going to have there? I know you don't have a way to delete the line, and you don't have to delete the line. You can just maybe with your pencil kind of scratch it away, pretend it's not there, and then you're going to try to figure out what kind of shape you have here. Well, here are your options: trapezoid, rectangle, parallelogram, hexagon. Okay, so let's see if it could be a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a shape that has only one set of parallel lines. So here we have one pair, and that's one pair of parallel lines. And then here we have another pair, of parallel lines. So that means that my yellow pair of lines, it doesn't matter if they keep going this way, they're never going to touch each other. And if you look at the pink ones, if they keep expanding farther, they're still not going to touch. So you have two pairs of parallel lines. So I know that the answer is definitely not F. It's not a trapezoid because a trapezoid only has one pair. Now a rectangle, or a G, a rectangle is a shape that has four right angles. But we know that this is not a right angle, that's not a right angle, that's not a right angle, that's not a right angle. This is acute, obtuse, acute, obtuse. That is not the answer. Now, I think the answer could be a parallelogram because a parallelogram does have two pairs. Here I have my pink pair that we just talked about and this yellow pair of lines, right, that I just did yellow. So that's my two pairs of parallel lines. So I think that could be the answer, but I do want to look at the last option. The last option says hexagon. A hexagon is a shape that has 6 sides. So that is definitely not the answer because this does not have 6 sides. It has 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides. Now we're going to go ahead and do question number 4. Number 4 says, Mr. Delgado paid a total of $18 for 3 large burgers and 1 small burger. Each large burger cost $5. Which diagram best represents this situation where B is the cost of the small burger? So we're looking for a situation in which this letter B is the cost of a small burger. So F says that this one is the cost of the small burger. This one, G says that this one is the cost of the small burger. This one right here says that that one is the cost of the small burger. And this one says that this one is the cost of the small burger. Okay, so for this one, we have to look at important words here where it says that they're paying a total of $18. Okay, so that means that if we create our own plan, that means we're going to do our own strip diagram. Our total is $18, right? We're paying a total of $18 for everything. That's what total means, right? For the total of 3 large burgers and 1 small burger. So this right here is going to include everything with the 3 large burgers and 1 small burger. Okay, then it says that each large burger costs $5. That means that we're gonna be repeating that number 5, right? When we see the word each, that means that we are repeating that same thing. So each large burger is $5. We're gonna have 3 large burgers and each is going to cost $5. Okay, so here's one. And it's going to be about this much. Here's another one, and I'm trying to make them the same size. I'm trying to do it perfectly so you understand what it's supposed to look like. I'm not expecting you to make it perfect, but we definitely need 3 boxes that are about the same size, right? So each of those large burgers is going to cost $5. And they should all have about the same size of a box, right? That means that we're going to have one box that is not going to be the same size, okay? This one is actually going to have to be smaller. So I'm going to have to shrink it down a little bit like this. So we know that that one's going to be smaller. So I'm going to make sure that I can put it here. And then this one is going to be B, the price of the small burger. So now that I showed my strip diagram down here, where 18 is my total, I'm buying a large burger for $5. I'm buying another large burger for $5 and another large burger for $5. And I'm going to spend the rest of that money for the small burger. I'm going to look at all my answer choices. If you look at J says that all 5 large burgers are going to be equal to a small burger. That one doesn't make any sense because there's no way that if I add all of these numbers, that's going to be the cost of a small burger. Right here it says add $18 plus $5 plus $5. That one doesn't make sense. Here it's saying that I'm spending $18 for each large burger and $5 for another burger, and that's going to give me the cost of the small burger, where B is the small burger. That one doesn't make sense either. This one makes a little bit more sense because it does tell me that the total is 18. But if you look compared to my other one where the total is 18, all 3 burgers cost $5. This one is saying, yeah, all 3 burgers cost $5, but that one small burger is going to be more expensive than each large burger. It doesn't make sense for a large burger to cost $5 and for a small burger to cost a lot more. So to have a way bigger box. So this one doesn't make sense either. So my answer was F, where each large burger is $5 and then that small burger is going to be smaller than my large burger. But altogether, that's going to be $18. So my answer is going to be F. Now let's go ahead and jump to number 6. This one says, 50 years ago, Maria's grandmother paid $55 for an antique lamp. Today, the lamp is worth 100 times that amount, which shows the value of the lamp today. So we are giving some information. We're given some information that says that Maria's grandmother paid $55 for a lamp, and that was 50 years ago. Today, that lamp is worth 100 times that amount. So we're looking for the value. So in this one, we do have to add, multiply, subtract, or divide, and it is a story. So that means we do have to do cutie pack. So the question is, we're looking for the value of the lamp today. What is the value of that lamp today? Well, we know that it used to be $55, right? We can say 50 years ago or a long time ago, it was $55. So $55, we can put here 50 years ago. And then we can say that now, today, it is 100 times that amount. Okay, so that's my question and my data. For our plan in this one, we know that we're going to be multiplying because it says 100 times. Okay, so we're going to do 55 100 times. So let's go ahead and show our answer or work for our answer. So we know that it's 55 times 100. And we learned that when we multiply times 100, we cross out a 0 and then the other 0, and that's 2 zeros that we have to cross out. And then we circle everything else, which is 55 and 1. So 55 times 1 is 55. So we're going to put here 55. So the answer for number 6 is 5,500, which is J. It should look like this. And we can put our check. The lamp is now worth $5,500. Okay, and that was number 6. Let's go to number 7, which is the last one. Number 7 says the model is shaded to represent 3 and 2/10. Okay, so here you have 1, 2, 3 whole circles. That would be 3. And then here you don't have a full circle. You have only part of a circle. So this means that this is a fraction of a circle. Okay. So the way that we write that as a fraction is like this. You have 3, and then over here you have a fraction, right? Every time you want to write a fraction, you're gonna put your line, and then you're gonna say I have 2 shaded, which I have 2 shaded over here, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 3 and 2/10. Okay, so that means that I have 1, 2, 3. That's where my whole number goes. And then here I have 2/10. 3 and 2/10. Now this one over here says 32. So that one doesn't work. It doesn't say the same thing. This one says 3 and 2/10, right? Because we always start with the number in the ones place, 3, and every time we see the decimal point, that means we're doing a decimal. So or we're skipping to a fraction. So 3 and 2/10, right? The 2 is in the tenths place. So we say 3 and 2/10. So this one looks like it could be the answer. But let's go to C. C says 3. It says 3 and 2/100. Here the 2 is in the hundredths. So that would look like this. 3 and 2/100. Because this 2 over here is in the hundredths place. So this is not the answer. And if we look at the last one, that one says 32/100, right? It would just look like this. So the answer is B. All right, so that's all I have for today. Make sure that you're showing your work. If you're stuck on any question and you don't understand it, you can ask me. Thank you.